Hey everyone, welcome to the March Equinox Pick a Card reading. And of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be the Spring Equinox. In the Southern Hemisphere, it'll be the Fall Equinox. And also March 20th, which is when that equinox happens, is going to be the astrological new year. We've gone through all of the zodiac signs. We're leaving Pisces and starting over back in Aries. So happy Aries season as well. I'll have another special video for that. That will also be coming out, of course. Now the equinox, the solstices, we are either kind of pointing away from the sun or pointing toward the sun. And that's where we have winter and, of course, summer in the different hemispheres. But now we are kind of more where the sun is on the equator, which is going to be represented with this beautiful balancing that is coming in, this equalizing, where days and nights are equal-ish compared to winter and summer, of course. So the sun can seem like it's right above the equator during that time. And again, it's this balancing where we're not tilted in one direction or the other. So this reading is going to be about, springtime is about birthing, fall time or autumn is about harvesting, things are coming to fruition. And so you're going to have a choice of 3 different pick-a-cards. The first one is going to be the caterpillar being born or the butterfly coming to fruition. Number 2 is going to be the little seedling that does grow up into a fruit tree. And then we've got like the baby or the calf or the fawn that turns and grows into the adult, into the stag. So you have choices of 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to start with number 1. All the others have the timestamp in the description box below. So if you want to jump to one of those other ones, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to start with number 1. All right, all my Virgos, if you chose reading number 1, which is the caterpillar to the butterfly, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods deck. And this is going to represent one side of the scales of what is balancing or coming into balance for you during these 3 months of the equinox. So let's give these one more shuffle here. All right, so for our Virgos that chose reading number 1, what's on that half there? Nope, they don't want that one. They actually want this one right here. So we will go with this one. Do you have a time for healing? Look at that cute, beautiful card. I love that, and that's card number 16, which 6 plus 1 is 7. And it says, at times, amidst the travails of the world, we find ourselves keening for the soft touch of the healer, of one who knows the right way to bring back to life the dimming light within our souls. The healer's touch may feel far from you, but if you take a moment and allow the ancient ones to come to you, you will find a tender hand upon your brow, offering you the energy of the universe. Allow yourself to be restored by this ancient form of blessings and healing, even if human hands are far away right now. Imagine, close those weary eyes, know the ancient ones are with you, and let them reweave the fibers of light that make you into the being of radiance you so truly are. Wow. I love that for you. So definitely a healing touch into your life in so many ways. We'll of course get clarification on that. And then for the other side of this scale, we're going to pull from the Earth Magic Oracle and see what is on the other side of this balancing that's going on. And one more time. So for our Virgos that chose number 1, what do you want them to know? It's on that other side of this scale. Okay, that right there. You have the Milky Way and perspective. So I love this piece here. And we're going to read from the book here, just the intro. It says the Milky Way is said to be one of billions of galaxies in the observable universe, and it contains between 200 to 400 billion stars in itself, though, and the one most familiar to us, of course, being the Sun. The oldest star in our galaxy is 13.2 billion years old, said to be nearly as old as the universe itself, and the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Distances are measured in light years, and the Milky Way galaxy is believed to be 100,000 light years in diameter. The enormity and vastness stagger the mind and challenge the imagination, yet it also gives us some notion of where we fit into all of this. Considered from this perspective, our usual frame of reference is put to the task. We're faced with the choice of abandoning our myopic vision in favor of seeing and accepting the bigger picture, or we can just allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by a sense of smallness and helplessness. Yet know that we're composed of material from those very stars that inhabit the Milky Way. Thus, we're connected to Earth and the entire universe at all times, in life and in death. So I really feel like this side has to do with this sense of smallness and helplessness. And here's this offer of the healing, and that really it reaches across all time and space. Like it says, the ancient healing hands from the other side, those powerful beings of unconditional love and light. There's so much healing that they can bring. So this is this smallness, this perspective that you are small and helpless, and there is nothing that can be done for you, and no one cares, and you're on your own, you're abandoned, and then boom, you have this huge hug from the universe saying, I love you and I want to help heal you. So I love this. We'll, of course, dig in further here, and we're going to start off with these black tarot. And these are going to represent messages from your shadow. So your shadow is a part of you. It is the little tour guide that takes you through this giant amusement park of fear rides that we're having this human experience through. And being the tour guide, they of course know all the inner workings of the whole amusement park. So what we're conscious of is like up here, and then our shadow is able to take us, or not really take us, but provide us information from our subconscious, right? From that's happening below the surface, behind the scenes. So there's programs and things that are running there, and these are the messages from your shadow that they want you to know about this experience here over these next 3 months. Okay. So shadow for our Virgos, that chose reading number 1. So you have these 2. And anything else, or what else? Okay, and that one. Any others? Yep, and that. You have these 2 here. I feel like they want these to go here and this one to go here. All right, so let's unpack these. You're going to start with this one here, and you have the 4 of Cups. So cups are your emotions, and the 4 of Cups, think of 4s as a very solid foundation. So like a table with 4 big legs on it, it's very strong, right? So this 4 of Cups is about coming to this place of a solid emotional state. And usually you'll see someone like leaning up against a tree, and there's 3 cups in the foreground, and the person looks very, very bored with those, because those 3 cups are the cups of the outside world, those things that we've been told to, that we're supposed to fill up our life and make us feel, whole and complete, right? So those are relationships in the outside world, whether it's romantic, family, friends, work, whatever they may be. Situations or circumstances like jobs, education, the situations and circumstances that we experience and get into in our lives. Or the third cup is things like our bodies, our possessions, our bank account, and all those things are unstable. And if we use those as our source of emotional stability, we feel unstable in our emotions because all those three things are unstable. People change or pass away, so relationships are not stable. Situations never stay the same, and things break down, deteriorate, or are stolen. So all that Three of Cups is unstable for us. So those three cups, we are like, we're not so impressed with them, right? They're disappointing. But then usually on the original standard tarot, you'll see a hand offering another cup off screen, which is the hand of the creator. It's the hand, of the other world that it brings us that Ace of Cups, which is actually it's like Holy Grail. It's the chalice. It's full of the unconditional love of the other world, of our heavenly world. And it's actually what we're made out of. And so it brings us this beautiful love, this unconditional love that does fulfill us. It does give us what we've been truly thirsting for. And so this push, this dissatisfaction is what makes us feel small. All those three cups, we just feel like we're worthless, we're abandoned, we have nothing. But the Ace of Cups is what brings us this. So that's what's kind of this underlying energy. And then you have the Two of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And the Two of Swords represents like this duality. It's bringing this awareness of these two different ways of thinking as well, because we have two places our thoughts come from. One is all those expectations of the external world, telling us those three cups are what are going to make you feel whole and complete. So we have all these expectations, these that are rooted in fear and have the fear of failure, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being worthless and small and insignificant. That's what's in that human experience and adventure. That's what's behind all the fear rides, right? But the other choice we have is the higher truths, the capital T truths, the eternal truths of the spirit world. And so that's also down under here, bubbling away, that is driving this balancing act for you. Yeah. Because then you have the Six of Cups, so more emotions. And here's those Three of Cups on the bottom that are not satisfying, but there's movement because there's three cups above, which are like three of the, holy grails, three of those chalices full of the unconditional love of the Creator. And what the Six of Cups is this, it's like this announcement or this process that's going to be happening for you, transforming your emotions, transforming your memories. It's called like the nostalgia card, which is about looking back over your past and looking at your childhood and looking at your memories. And what happens when, we experience this understanding of the cups of the human world, how they are, rooted in fear, and the others are rooted in unconditional love. When we go back and look at a situation knowing that every moment is either of unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love, we can go back and look at it like a painful memory. And when we look at it, knowing that when the human is in fear and because the memory, if it's painful, is probably not involving unconditional love. It's, most likely involving conditional love and the fear of losing that. When the human experiences that and goes into fight or flight, the blood literally rushes from our brain and, it goes to our arms and our legs to fight or run like, the duty. And when we do that, the blood rushing out of our mind literally takes us out of our mind. We're acting out of our mind, right? And you're like, yeah, that explains so much. When people go into fear, they don't act in this rational way because they're in reactionary mode. Our body does not want us to stand there and think rationally, and then we get chomped on by the giant dinosaur, right? That's what the fight or flight does, is it keeps us from delaying action when we're in danger to get eaten. Of course, now a lot of our fears are not so much physical, they're more emotional monsters than physical monsters. So when you go back and look at these memories, you can look back at a memory and go, okay, that person, they said this to me and they acted this way toward me. And okay, now that I'm sitting in unconditional love and I look at it and go, oh, okay, so they were acting out of their minds. They were in fear. Their little child within them felt unsafe. It felt out of control, and it was doing reactionary-wise what it felt it was supposed to do to get safe again and to get back into control, which can lead to abusive ways, emotionally abusive, just weird, out of the norm actions and everything else that created this atmosphere. And the more we look at the situation and we understand, wow, so they weren't acting themselves because they were not within themselves. They were out of their mind. They were acting like an animal almost, just trying to survive with that survival instinct kicking in. Then you start to look at the situation differently. Then as you look at the situation differently, you start looking at them differently. And as you start looking at them and the situation differently, you start seeing yourself differently as well. So that is this churning and this changing and this transformation of emotions that are happening underneath in the subconscious and behind the scenes. And then you have the King of Wands. So Wands is your drive, your ambition, your passion, your inspiration, but it's also your spiritual energy. And being the king, it's the highest in the suit, which would be the highest spiritual energy, which would be connecting to the upper realms, connecting to your higher self and to all those beings of unconditional love on the other side. So there's this energy that's driving you, like to come to the center. You might feel, your perspective is changing. You might feel like you're out here ostracized, but they're like, come here, you come in here with us. And you're being drawn, to change this perspective of how you're looking at everything. Yeah, because that's funny. You have the Chariot. See the Chariot up there? And the Chariot is all about perspective. It's about you and your power of choice, that in any moment, you get to choose what story you apply to any situation and what emotion you're going to feel in any situation. So this definitely is all about this perspective switch. You get to choose what story. You can change your story. You can change your emotion as well. That's what this one is too. Yeah. This done a little bit here. Because you have the Hanged Man, which is all about seeing things from a different perspective. And it's about this movement of perspective too, this movement of how you see things. So yeah, this definitely is all about just a wonderful journey over these 3 months and how you are seeing things, but also realizing the power that you hold over your life. And I know in the beginning when you first hear that, oh, you're the one that gets to choose what story you apply to any situation. You're the one that gets to choose how you feel. What? It doesn't feel like that. And it's like, yeah, I know it doesn't, because we were so conditioned when we were younger that when this happens, this is what it means. When this happens, this is how you feel. And so we were reiterated and reinforced, and it became so much of an action and instruction from everyone on all that, being bombarded around it from like many sources, that it became our habit and then it became our reaction. But if we can pause and take a deep breath in any situation that feels uncomfortable, we can look and go, wait a minute, do I really want to apply that story to that situation? Is this really how I want to feel about it? And you can switch it. So it is very empowering once we get past the, wait a minute, I'm the one that made all these decisions. Yeah, but there's no wrong decision, because you came here to experience so many things and so many different perspectives and experiences. So none of it is wrong. You don't need to judge yourself for it. This is the perfect timing for you for having this happen and this awareness come, taking you to another stage of this during this 3-month period. We're also going to pull cards here from the Naked Heart Tarot, which these are going to be messages from up above. These are from the Creator and Spirit and all that posse of beings of unconditional love and light. And what they want you to know during this 3-month period, during the equinox. Okay, well, they want that one. It wouldn't leave my hands. So, and then one more time here. There we go. All right. So, with that one there, and what else? Okay. That one and that one. Any others? Okay, yep, yeah, they do want those too. All right. So put these two up here. I want to do a little pyramid, so we will. I'm going to start with this one here. And you have the 7 of Wands. Here's that energy, you know, we're talking about the passion and the drive and your energy level. You can see here, it's the 7 of Wands, is about this awareness of defensiveness and feeling like we have to defend ourselves. And this is this change that's happening. They want you to be aware that you have the higher ground. And because usually you'll see in the standard tarot someone up on a hill holding a wand, and the other 6 wands are like coming from off screen, like coming uphill. But that is the best place to be in any situation, is the higher ground. You know, it's like this battle wisdom that you want to be on the higher ground, because it's difficult for people to try to take a hill from the downward upward, because they have the higher perspective. And so with this higher perspective, they say you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to defend who you are any longer. You get to release yourself from defending your decisions, defending everything, because you realize that everyone is driving their own chariot. Everyone gets to make their own choices. People are going to have their opinions about everything in this life, and even maybe have opinions of their opinions, and possibly even the opinions of opinions of opinions. And so you don't need to worry about all that. This is like, don't worry. You can come out of that fight or flight mode. You don't need to get on the defensive or the offensive. And this energy is what's going to be switching for you during these 3 months. And I'm not saying that you're always this defensive person. There's like, for a lot of you, it's one particular thing that just triggers you, and this journey is helping you with that. It's helping you heal with that, right? Yeah, because here you have the 7 of Swords. So, yeah, and this was what I said in the beginning, 1 + 6 is 7. So that was funny, because I didn't say anything after that. I was just like, hey, 1 + 6 is 7. Oh, yay, you know how to count. Very good, Bretta Zen, you know. But here's the 7s showing themselves. And swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, like we're talking about with that 2 of Swords, your expectations. And the 7 of Swords is this awareness that's going to be coming for you during this time on what your thoughts and beliefs are that have been deceiving you, what have been giving you a different impression. So this is this awareness of the stories that you've been telling yourself, and this power that you're having is, this is what's going to be transforming for you. You're going to be able to see those beliefs and see them going, oh, you know what? Why do I even believe that? I don't know. Do I want to continue to believe that? Nah, not really interested in that. So I'm letting that go, you know. So it's this wonderful transformation there. Then you have the 9 of Pentacles. And Pentacles is about the outside world and about your journey. And it's about your worth and your feeling of wholeness and having your needs met. You know, it's just like this, really it comes down to like this feeling of helplessness, this feeling of not being taken care of, no one caring, that type of thing. The 9 of Pentacles is about flourishing in that, and that you find your wholeness and this completeness from within, because the 9s are the number for the Hermit in the Major Arcana, which happens to also represent Virgo, by the way. And so this is about you finding this wholeness and this completeness and this sense of worth from within yourself, not from the outside, but from within yourself. So that is perfect for this. Yep, and here's your shadow. It's the devil card, but this is your shadow. And so your shadow has already made itself known, and it's giving you this wisdom, and it's giving you the little wink wink on these are the things that are driving this. This is the things that are bubbling underneath the surface. And the devil card, your shadow, doesn't do these in subtle ways. It does it in very obvious, in-your-face ways. So whenever this is coming up, usually you're getting the lesson or this mirror happening from more than one place. You know, with me, it's almost like I go through this hall of mirrors, and it's like, oh my gosh, I see like 10 things happening. I'm like, oh, wait, I think I see a lesson here. It's like, yeah, sometimes we need this really obvious in our face approach, and that's what it's bringing you. It's bringing this stuff repeatedly to you during these 3 months, so you can't miss it, because this is unfolding for you, not to you. Yep, and then you have the 8 of Wands. So the Wands is that spiritual energy. It is your energy and this passion, and it is like this, you know, gazelle here. It moves very fast. It's fast-moving energy, which is good because, you know, these things that happen will happen quickly once you realize it, right? Once you get the message going, oh, I get it, and then things will transform quickly with that stuff. But the 8 of Wands also represents, because the Wands is the spirit, these represent messages coming in too. So you have all these beautiful messages that are going to be coming in from the spirit world, which we kind of already knew, right? Throughout the entire 3 months, more than normal even. So you're going to be getting messages from the outside world, emotional messages that come in, mental messages that just drop into your head. So just be aware that you're going to be having these coming from everywhere, just to help you with this change in perspective that is coming. And then for your final, we're going to be pulling from these divine directions cards. So for your final message from the Creator. So for all you Virgos that chose reading number 1, what's your final message for them, please? Okay. What else? Okay. And last pass. Any others? Okay, and then these two. All right, so we'll start with this one since it showed itself, and it is music. Love that. And it says, express yourself by playing an instrument or singing. Music will lift your spirits. And that is good. You know, this is a good message about what helps you change your perspective and impacts your energy is what you feed your ears, what you feed your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your touch, your mind. So all of that, being aware of what you're consuming and intentionally consuming things that help you towards this. Because if you're like participating in things that spawn the fear, you're just growing the fear. Wherever you're focusing your energy is what's growing. So if you're focusing yours, on music that makes you feel sad and is talking about you're so lonely, you're so sad, you're like, I feel lonely and sad. Well, I wonder why. It's like what we're feeding ourselves is what is growing. So this is them letting you know, pay attention to what you're feeding yourself. Yeah. Perfect. So you got birth. This is a time of new beginnings. Embrace the new life with open arms. So yeah, this is this new birth that's coming, getting to know yourself in the higher realms more and more and more and more. Yeah. Love. It's the right time for you to experience a loving, committed relationship. Enjoy it. And I feel like this is the relationship, this loving, committed relationship. It is a general reading, so of course that could mean that you do have one of those enter your life during this period of time. But really, for the majority of you, it's this committed relationship to yourself and a committed, loving relationship with the higher realms, because they are the ones you can trust. They are the ones that are going to love you the way that you have truly wanted to be loved. And that's the only place that you're going to truly find it, because that's the unconditional loving world. And you're looking for a stable, eternal love. And the love, of course, of the physical world is unstable and temporary. Yep, and here you go. Recharge. Part of your healing here, too. Please slow down. It's not selfish to take time out to look after yourself. So this is the time for you. It's time for you. I love it. Well, I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I do also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc., new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of other videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those messages and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, and then also click the subscribe button, that gives you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can select all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing any of those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video or share a video, comment on a video, or subscribe to a channel, doing any of those things makes the YouTube algorithm super happy, and it shares those videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am grateful for that. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific information for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, my Virgos. All my Virgo caterpillars to your butterflies, just know as you're going through your beautiful journey that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox, but I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. And until then, you take care. All right, all my Virgos, if you chose reading number 2, which is the seedling that grows into the fruitful tree, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods. And this is going to represent 1/2 of the scales that are coming into balance during this equinox period for you. Just one more time here. Here we go. All right, so for our Virgos that chose reading number 2, what do you want them to know? What's the first half? Okay, there we go. And you have the going deep. So deep diving. And of course, this kind of feels like deep diving into your emotional, because water, of course. And that is card number 7, I believe. Yep. That's funny. There was a bunch of 7s going on in reading number 1. So if you didn't listen to reading number 1, you might want to check that one out too. I kind of feel like there's this little dual thing going on there. But it says there are times to walk and there are times to swim. The path has taken you into the waters of the deeper self. Your unfelt emotions, the mysteries of the psyche, the flowing nature of who you are fearful to be, all these mysteries can be explored. Sink into the subconscious and know it is safe for you to be with this watery place for a time. Feel the gift of the silence, the calm, the weightlessness, and the depth of this world. You are a part of this, just as you are a part of the air. Do not stay at the edge of the lake. Walk into the waters and let them go over your head. The beauty of water will open your eyes to the beauty of the emotions within you. Yep, exactly. Perfect. I love that. And then we're, of course, for the other side of the scale, we're going to pull from these Earth Magic Oracle cards and see what is on the other side of this balance. So the deep diving and going into your emotions there. And one more time. All right, so for our Virgos that chose number 2, okay, they do want these 2 for you. So first of all, you have the winter solstice reflection. So the solstices are coming in here, which you're just coming out of a solstice, going into the equinox. So there has been this period of time, and lightning, power, and I love this. In fact, they don't even want me to read from the books on these at all, because the messages that they're bringing here are that this is what reminds me of the tower moment, of that the removal of certain things from your life, whether it is a relationship or someone that's passed away or some possession that's been removed, something going on with your body, something to do with your job, something to do with education, all these things on these journeys and adventures that we are in the outside world. Something happened where the tower moments are all about that this tower gets hit by lightning and removed, because it's time for something to be removed out of your life in order to make room for something new. And especially with these emotions spark things within us. When we feel loss and something being removed out of our life, it brings stuff right to our face for us to look at, to reflect upon. So there's, the winter solstice is when things die, when things end, when things go dormant, when things go into hibernation, when things withdraw, so that it is ready for springtime, so I know that the southern hemisphere, you're just finishing up summer, going into fall. So it is, though, this period of time, this is all symbolic anyway, but this is all the symbolic in the symbolism of that there's been these things that have ended, these losses that have happened, that are triggering all this emotions. And I mean, you even see the ocean, and here you're going in deep diving into that area there. So I like that, because the lightning also brings enlightenment and shines on things that we are wanting to see, even though maybe our conscious mind may not think it wants to see it. Our body and our higher self and our shadow and everything else within us does want us to look at it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. Which brings us into the next step that we're going to look at here, is that we're going to pull cards from the Black Tarot, which represents messages from your shadow. And your shadow is like your tour guide, taking us through this amusement park of fear on this human experience. And because they're the tour guide, they know all the ins and outs of this amusement park. So where we have our conscious stuff, the subconscious, the stuff that's below the surface, the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, our shadow can help us with that. And so these are messages from your shadow, letting you know what it wants you to know about this equinox period, and with this balancing that's going on. So for our Virgos that chose reading number 2, okay, there we go. What else? Okay, and these 2. So we've got these 2 and this one, and any others. Oh, actually, they do want this one right here too. Okay. So we'll start off with this one here, and you have the Ace of Wands. And this is beautiful because the Wands is your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration. It's also your spiritual energy and your energy in general. It's your passions. And so this is what is bubbling underneath the surface here. This is I feel like this is like your spark of your spiritual energy that's driving you to really look into these things. And that makes sense too. Looks like a torch that's, lighting the way down here. But it is this spark that's happening, this passion that's happening for you to really understand what it is you want out of your life. And I love that with especially this emotional journey that you're on, because it's showing you, what do you really care about? A lot of your emotions were reactions based on what you were told. This is how you're supposed to feel when that happens. This is the story you're supposed to apply to it when that happens. But this Ace of Wands is about a new passion, a new energy, a newness coming around through all this, right? And then you have the 7 of spheres. And this is great because here's this tree. We're talking about the seedling that is turning into a fruitful tree. Well, this is like this tree, right? And here we go with the 7s again that are making themselves known. And the 7 of spheres, or the 7 of pentacles, basically tells you about this fruit. And kind of like I was talking about just now with the Ace of Wands too, which is perfect, is you've planted something, it grows, it starts to show the fruit of it, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, I know I planted an apple tree, and now that the apples are starting to, blossom, and I see it's an apple tree, you know what, I'm really not all about the apples. I think I'd rather have an avocado bush or avocado tree, right? And so it's this change once you start to see the fruits and are able to, like it says, reflect on what it's brought you. You're ready for something new. You're ready to take a different avenue, a different direction, right? That's where this new passion comes in. It's about, yeah, I've lost interest in other things and I'm ready and I'm getting interest in new things in this new area for my life. And the 7 of spheres, 7 of pentacles, is also like this reminder that your internal world changes fast, but the outside world takes time to catch up, because we don't change from the outside in, we change from the inside out, okay? Then you have the Judgment card, which is perfect as well. This is card number 20, which XX, it's double endings, double new beginnings, and it also is about discovering the higher you as well, because normally they would have like people in their coffins that are rising from the dead, and then there's this big angel at the top of it with a horn, like waking everyone up. And it's basically this understanding that when you have judgments and contrast and comparison and all that really delicious, uncomfortable emotions, those are from our human side, people that were in the coffins. But there's another side of you, that higher self, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love that's way up above, and that is your higher self. And so there is this, again, this spark that's happening is your higher self wanting to bring more of itself into the physical world. And then you have the Queen of Spheres, the Queen of Pentacles. So you've got and so I just got done saying bringing, because the Pentacles is bringing this newness into the physical world. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, it is taking care of yourself. It's new birth. She's like the Empress, which is Mother Nature, and she's always pregnant, because she's birthing something new and something beautiful and something free into the physical world. And so this is definitely what is happening here. So you're definitely looking for this change to happen in the physical world. We're going to get more clarity, of course, through these Naked Heart Tarot, which these are going to be messages from your higher self, from up above, your higher self, your creator, spirit, all those beings, that big posse of beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. And we'll see what they want you to know about these 3 months with this equinox that's coming about. All right. So for our Virgos that chose reading number 2, okay. What else? Okay. Any others? And those 2, all right. So I feel like these 2 go over here, and then these 3 are for here. And so the first one here is the 8 of Swords. So your swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. It's all about your mentalness. And the Eight of Swords is this change of your thoughts to a new level, because it really shows you that it's been your thoughts and beliefs that have made you feel blinded, that have made you feel constricted and bound and restricted. If I didn't say restricted already, it's, so there's this awareness that comes of, oh yeah, it's not the outside world that's been doing all this. It's been your thoughts and beliefs about the outside world and yourself, that have been limiting you, making you feel like you can't do, not anything, but just like you feel like blocked and you feel like trapped. You feel like I said, restricted, where you can't go and do things. And so this is a great card, because it is not this, this is your punishment and your sentence. This is not your life sentence. This is awareness that's coming to you about, really, it's almost like these are the thoughts and beliefs you're ready to leave behind, because you're realizing they're not bringing you what you want anymore. Because then you have the Nine of Swords, and this is known as the insomnia card or the nightmare card, and it's because all these expectations that you've been trying to do, they've just been stressing you out, and which is great, because this is awareness again. You have the 8 and the 9. The 10 of Swords is like exhaustion, and the ending's a new beginning. So you're so close to letting go of these things that have been causing so much stress in your life. And you've been working on them, you've been, cutting them away, but this is like you are to this point of really letting it go and, going deep, this deep dive that you're heading off into with all of this is happening on purpose for you, and because you wanted this to happen. And then you have the Heart of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands in the regular suit. We talked about the wands here. She is an awesome queen, because she is able to really super focus her energy. So she's able to get stuff done. She's able to really, when she puts her intention into something, things just move, right? But she also not only is the queen of the fire element, all the queens also have water energy. And with the wands being spirit, and water also being this, the depths of the emotions where we feel spirit, she brings this beautiful combination of that together. And she normally has like a black cat on hers, which represents her connection to the spirit world, into the ethereal. And it's like having a familiar, where she's able to have this, along with her fine-tuned ability to super focus her energy, her intuition can be really on point too. And she doesn't feel like she's taking risks, because she really feels like she can connect to the spirit world and get guidance from them, hear from them. And so, this is this beautiful, especially with all this going on with the mind, I'm digging into the mind. And Virgos never think. That's being facetious, because we know you get into your minds very easily, right? And so this is great. You have this beautiful mental journey that you're on, but you're learning to trust the energy within you as well. So this is a beautiful balance within the balance that's happening. And then these two over here, beautiful. So you got the 10 of Pentacles, which this is a wonderful, it's a very fruitful card, which you are the seedling going to the fruit tree. This is like a very full fruit tree, full of plenty of reward for what you're doing. And with it being the Pentacles, it's like your wholeness and your completeness and your self-worth just feels really expanded because of this. You finding your inner strength. Which your inner strength, let me go into the story here. Let me just put this over here and get it off of my fingers here. So this number 8, the Strength card, has 2 things in it. Usually they'll have like a maiden with this infinity symbol on her or above her, which represents your eternal self. And then you have the lion. And I love how they kind of interpreted this, because they have like, this is the combination of your higher self and your lower self. And this whole discovery that you go through, and especially when you do this deep dive, what you're going to find is you, the capital Y-O-U, your higher self. And the whole story that I have been given around the Strength card is like the lion, our human side, isn't aware at first of our higher self. And it comes down here, it's hungry, it's thirsty, and it's told, look outside of yourself for all those things that are going to make you feel full, that is going to quench your thirst. And it goes out and does that, like all of us do, because that's what we're told to do, right? Look out there. So we try relationships, romantic, family, friends, work, whatever, and they don't last long. They don't fulfill us for long because they're unstable. People change or people pass away, right? We look into circumstances like our jobs, education, just different situations and circumstances we can get into. So we go through all that. We still feel hungry. We still feel thirsty. And then we try more possessions, more money, doing something with our bodies. And we find that that stuff, if it filled us up at all, we are hungry not much longer. We're still thirsty. And so the lion keeps eating and drinking all that stuff, and it gets more and more desperate to the point it becomes this hangry lion, a hungry, angry lion roaring in the jungle. Well, our higher self is always aware of us. And when it hears us roaring, it comes down to us, and it doesn't kill us to put us out of our misery, doesn't cage us to protect other people from us, and it doesn't try to control us like with a whip and a chair like they do in the carnival. It knows that what that human, that lion, is hungry for is the unconditional love of back home. And it's very convenient that our higher self is a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. Our higher self can give our human self what it's been searching for all along, which is that unconditional love. So it gives it a big hug, and the lion transforms from this roaring lion in the jungle to this beautiful little purring cub sitting in the lap of our higher self, feeling full, its thirst quenched, and feeling loved like it has never felt loved before. And what's great is that as you find that individual in your deep dive, they're not like Superman, or in this case Aquaman, where they come and rescue someone and then swim off. They come down, and now that the lion is aware of the higher self, it joins together and it walks hand in paw through the rest of its human life journey, feeling that wholeness and that completeness, and so that transformation that happens. So I love this. I actually have this new series, this free video series that they had me start at the beginning of this year. It's called U times 2. I'll have the playlist in the description box below, a link to it, and I'll also link it in one of these corners at the end of this video, in case you want to go check those out, because it's all about understanding the two of us that are living this human experience together. And then your final message is going to come from the Whispering Woods deck here, and this is just going to represent what the final messages that the Creator has for you, for all of you Virgos that chose reading number 2. Okay, and they also wanted that one there too. Okay. So we'll start off with this one. Retreat! No, that's not what this one means. It says, spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So this is about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, which I'm going to put above the Queen of Pentacles here. This is about treating you, taking time for you, deep diving into you. Treat yourself and then re-treat yourself, so you deserve it. This is about time to focus on you. And then you have light. And that one says, look to the space between the trees for answers. So this is this deep diving. This is going in between the things instead of focusing on the things. It's really getting behind the scenes, getting deep into the roots of what you're believing and why, which is definitely all this is about. So perfect. Yep, and being an earth sign, you love to be grounded. Let's keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. So the seedling becomes a tree, and then it becomes taller than the trees. And lastly, growth. And that says, and this is hilarious. So reminder, this number 2 reading is about the seedling that grows into a very fruitful tree. And it says the tallest oak trees once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. Just so you know, I'm not making it up. I'll show you that again. Seedling. So I'm gonna put that over here. Here's the growth. I love this for you, Virgos. So definitely a beautiful equinox period here for you. And just remember that all of this is happening for you. And it's definitely worth the journey, because it's just freeing. I mean, just being able to connect to your higher self and walk hand in hand with your higher self in a more deeper way than you ever have. It's just wonderful. Right, well, I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, also weekly energy updates for like the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc. Do new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of other videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button. That'll give you access to this notification bell. When you go in there, you can select all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things, it helps spread the love, because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, subscribe to a channel, all those things just help the YouTube algorithm be so grateful and joyful that it wants to share those videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I, of course, am grateful for that. And these are general readings. If you want even a more detailed and specific reading for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. Okay, my Virgos, so you go through this journey, this wonderful equinox, and every single day of your life, please know that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, my Virgos, if you chose reading number 3, which is the baby that transforms to the adult, the calf or the fawn that transforms into the powerful stag, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods deck. And this is going to represent 1/2 of this scale that's going to be balancing during the 3 months of this equinox. One more time here. There we go. All right, so for our Virgos that chose reading number 3, okay, they said that one, but not all of those. And you have the To Walk the Lonesome Road, card number 1. I'm gonna put that right here. I'm just going to read from the little book. And it says, foolish, they say, to walk this strange path. Loneliness will become your only companion, they say, as you take those first steps on the lonesome road to your own self. This is not adventure, no indulgence, no needless seeking. This is a pilgrimage of the soul, and the time you spend on the path you have chosen, which truly has chosen you, may make you weary. and there could be doubt, and there will be moments where your only companion is the voice inside your head. And that is the point. For when you hear that voice clearly for almost the first time, listen. Speak with it. See what you have been saying to yourself. And with each footstep, watch the words become more encouraging, more loving, and more filled with self-love. Beautiful. I love that image. And then, for the other side of the scale, we're going to pull from these Earth Magic Oracle cards and see what is balancing with that during this 3 months. And one more time. All right, so for our Virgos, number 3, our powerful little calves that turn into even more powerful stags. What do you want them to know about the balance? Okay, that one right there. And that one right there. Okay. So your first card is Fairies, Earth Magic. Makes sense, you being Virgos, you do have very strong Earth Magic, of course. And you've got dream time with creation. So yeah, there's this wonderful, I feel like this lonesome path where you feel like, okay, I'm alone, I kind of like, I see like you're walking and there's no one around. People maybe said goodbye to you or not when you walk to the edge of the village and you're going through this winding path into this forest, and you're sitting in that loneliness, feeling like no one wanted to go with you. You're in this all alone, and then suddenly you see fairies. Suddenly you see the creativity. You see this beautiful enchanted forest around you. So I feel like this is the stuff that comes from the experience of this journey, even though it starts off as this lonely place, with this new moon. This is the beginning of the journey. This is what you find during the journey. So let me look at here. We're going to read the fairies. And I'm not sure if we're going to read creation yet. They haven't told me yay or nay, so we will be in the moment and go with this first one first. So for the fairies, Earth Magic. Fairies are nature spirits, thought to be descended from the early tribes, particularly the Tuatha De Danann, those associated with the goddess Dana, who once ruled Ireland, that inhabited the British Isles. Over time, these ancient people were conquered and displaced, and they fled to areas where humans didn't venture, ultimately becoming increasingly smaller and less visible in order to better hide themselves. Fairies have assumed responsibility for the plants and the trees. They work with earth magic to take care of these beings, and if you ask, they'll help you with your garden or your yard. They also have the power of enchantment and shapeshifting. Fairies appreciate it when we show them through our actions that we love the earth as much as they do, and consequently, they bestow a little of their earth magic upon us. And I think that's what I'm going to read for that one there. So I really feel, outside of this story, I just really feel like this is that magical feeling, that you just feel like you have these helpers that do help you along the path, that help you and help you grow because you are a part of this earth energy, right? And then they do want me to read this dream time. If I can spell, there we go. For the Aborigines of Australia, the dream time is a place before time and outside of time in which ancestral spirit beings came to Earth and gave all of life its form. Once the work was done, these spirits remained in the very forms they created, including the animals, the hills, the stars, and other features of the land, and continue to be present today. The dream time is an individual's or group's spiritual template, including songs and stories that have been handed down for at least 60,000 years. although Aborigines would say that they've existed since the beginning of time. In one such tradition, there's a creation story involving the didgeridoo, which is essentially a hollowed-out log that emits a droning sound when played. In this card, you can see one here. I'm sure you already know what one is. They're very popular these days, but that's the didgeridoo. Oops, right here. And so in this card, we see this spirit man plays the didgeridoo and the world is sung into existence. So note the various beings and colors and structures of the land that are being created, all carrying spirit that has been breathed into them. So I love those are beautiful stories. And really what I feel when as I was reading that, I'm like, I get it. So this is like this journey that you're on, but this is like being feet on the ground and very serious in the world. And this is the feelings of magic. Like this is the fancifulness, the fantasiness, the dreaminess of a world where you believe in magic, where you believe in fairies, where you believe in unicorns, where you believe miracles happen, right? Whereas this is like, okay, this is the path I'm walking it. This is like, yeah, but if you look closer, you're going to see all this beautiful, just magic that's intertwined in your life, right? We are going to dig more into this and get clarity, but that's what I'm feeling is this balance between the practical and the dreaminess. We're going to pull from the Black Tarot here, and these represent messages from your shadow. Your shadow is your tour guide. It'd be like this little black crow that's guiding you along your path. And it is a part of yourself, though, and it is like it says, a tour guide through this beautiful amusement park of fear of this human experience. And because it's the tour guide, it knows the ins and outs of this amusement park. So where we're aware of the things that we're conscious of here, our shadow is also aware of the unconscious, the subconscious, the things that are below the surface, the things that are going on behind the scenes. So the energies, our thoughts, our beliefs, just all that wisdom and these truths that are running down below that do impact our human life, but we're not aware of them because they're below the surface. So these are your messages from your shadow, what they want you to know during this 3-month equinox period. So, all right, there's one. These right here. So you've got this, and then you've got this one, and then these two. Oh, actually, I want this one to go here. Okay. You start off with the 8 of Cups. So cups are your emotions, and the 8 of Cups is like this movement to a higher level, wisdom that comes from your experiences of your emotions. And it really a lot to do too with all those emotions that you're ready to leave behind. You see how they're headed off in a different direction. You're ready to leave some old ways of thinking or feeling, behind. So you are ready to have that happen, and that's what's bubbling under the surface, is you are ready to let some emotions go. It's like you're tired of feeling them. You're like, oh, that one again, I'm ready. It keeps on looping. I'm ready for it to stop looping. It's like they just showed me like the number 8, how it goes. Oh, here it is again. Here it is again. Can we just cut one of those off so it falls off and it stops coming back? And that's what this is about too, with this journey of yours. It's letting some emotions go. And you have the Knight of Wands. Wands is the fire energy. It's drive, ambition, passion, inspiration, and it's your spiritual energy and just your energy in general. The knights are movers, they're the horses, they move. And so this is about movement of your spiritual energy, movement of your energies in general, and some action on some passions as well. So it's like this inspiration is triggering in your subconscious. And I kind of feel like this is at the beginning stages of that piece, where you have this, I want to do something, but it's like you feel like you have to do this thing first, this emotional release, before you can really move in this direction, because this energy is shifting from maintaining old emotions, and so you feel drained because that energy that's being used is being used to maintain old emotions that you don't want anymore. And you're like, but if I let that emotion go and then that energy comes back to me, I can use it in a different area of my life. Yeah, because you have Page of Wands, which is about new passion, new energy. And I love this, how they portray this like the burning fire of the heart. So it is this new energy that's coming in for you and returning back to you. So this does tell me that you, during these 3 months, that's what you, the intention and the drive is that you are letting this stuff go so that you can have this new passion and this new energy and invest it. Yeah, because then you have the 10 of Cups, which is about emotional fulfillment and overflowingness. So yeah, definitely went from the 8 of Cups to the 10 of Cups. You can see the darkness and then this brightness. So you do get this energy back, and then this flow of energy flows into the brighter emotions that you're wanting to feel, that you're wanting to experience instead. You're ready to let old stuff go that served you. You experienced it. You're done with it. You're ready for something new. So I love it. And then we are going to move into pulling from the Naked Heart Tarot. And these are going to be representing messages from up above, from Creator, from Spirit, from all those beings of unconditional love and light, your big posse of support that's on the other side, what they want you to know around this balancing and these 3 months that are coming up. All right, so what do you want the Virgos to know that shows reading number 3, please? Okay, that one. What else? Oh, none of those. Okay, that one. And that one. Any others? Okay, and that one. And this one for over there. Okay, so they do want to start with this one. They're like, clear the stage. Okay. 5 of Wands. See this little firestorm, this little hurricane of fire in the middle there? This is about transformation of energy. This is about movement and change of how you're looking at energy. Because that one usually has like this little story or this little movie that starts playing in my head where there's 5 people with their big wands, with the big staves, and they're all fighting and battling. You're like, oh my gosh, it looks like they're, trying to hurt one another. And finally, it gets down to where just one is standing up barely and the other 4 are laying down exhausted, and then they all start busting up laughing and they put the stabs away, and you're like, what's going on? And then they're all buddy walking down the pathway, and then they arrive at this meal hall at the Buddhist monastery, and you're like, oh. And suddenly what started off as this energy of conflict and war and battling and people fighting, it's now, oh, these are Buddhist monks that were just going through their practice and trying to improve their skills, and so they were going through these, training exercises and all that, and you're like, oh, wow, so there's this change of how you're perceiving the energy. And really, with all this that we were talking about underneath, it's where you're focusing your energy, and because what you want to see, you'll see. What you focus on grows. So whatever you're seeing in your life, like if you want to see magic, you will see magic because you're going to ignite that and grow that. If you don't, then you won't. Yep, that's pretty much it. Then you have Innocence of Cups, which this would be the Page of Cups in the standard tarot. Yeah. And the cups are your emotions. And this is new emotions, you can see here that they have the Ace of Cups, which I call it the chalice, the Holy Grail. And what's in that is the living waters. It's the essence of the unconditional love of the creator of all things. And so this new emotion that's coming, which I really feel like with this 10 of Cups, it'll be the Ace of Cups up here that's filling up all the other cups that are below it. So that is what this change is happening. And especially with this, where you're focusing your energy, it ignites new things within you that allows you to have this beautiful experience and allows you to have this love that overflows from above, you know. Well, lo and behold, you have some scales here. I think there's this message about balance in here. So there is this balance in between. You know, I know Virgos, I have some earth energy in me too that takes me sometimes, a lot of air, but I'm a Aquarius sun. I know how I can get into my head and get practical. But I have a ton of Pisces that takes me into the dream time too and keeps me, you know, from getting too much in my head and allows me to also go into fantasy. And so there is this message of it's okay. Neither one is wrong, and being extreme in either one is not wrong, but this is a time for you to learn to experience some of this balance that's going on here. So, you know, one of the sides of the scales is our human side. One side of the scale is our spiritual side. And so it's important for this balance, for your part of your journey to experience bringing them both together in equal proportions. That's because you have Earth Mother, which is the Empress in the Standard Tarot. And this is all about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. It's about new beginnings, birth, freedom, getting out into nature. So definitely there's this, you know, going on this journey, the getting out and you know, especially with this Earth energy here, spend some time out in nature. I don't have to really tell Virgos that you love to get out into nature and get out and enjoy Mother Earth and enjoy the beauty of all that out there, of course. We're talking about creation, all that environment out there too. It talks about all the beautiful beings that exist in the rock formations and in the trees and in everything that's created, right? So there definitely is all this earthness here. And I feel like this one is for over here. Yeah. 3 of Cups. Cups are emotions. This usually is like joy, celebration, but it's also a special card for me with my spirit guides and all my support team on the other side. This does represent all of them. And so this is them right over here above. Like I said, this is your spiritual side. This is your spiritual posse saying, hey, connect with us, spend time with us, because we will show you so much if you'll give us the chance. And then you also have over here, yeah, you have the 7 of Pentacles. And the 7 of Pentacles, of course, Pentacles is your outside world. Here's that forest that you're about to walk into, right? But the 7 of Pentacles has 2 messages. And one of them is that when you plant something, it takes time to grow. And inner stuff changes lickety fast, and you can change mindset, you can change emotions, you can change your, you know, passion and your drive. But the outside world has its seasons. Obviously, we're talking about, you know, the seasons. Equinoxes, 3 months, solstices, 3 months. And it goes 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So it takes time. Plants things in spring, they start to grow. Summer, they just really grow. Fall, autumn, you know, the fruit becomes fully grown, ready to be plucked and harvested. Things start to fall from the trees, and then winter comes, and all that stuff that fell on the ground dematerializes, or, you know, breaks down and sinks into the soil to prepare for the next spring. So there is a process in the outside world, and it takes time. And so it's this message of be patient with the outside world. It won't keep up with your inside world. It takes time for it to catch up, and it never really catches up. And that's because you change from the inside out, not the outside in. So they're like, just be patient with that as it unfolds. The other thing with that too is sometimes you'll see fruit starting to grow in an area of your life where you planted stuff and you're like, I'm not so excited about that as I was once before, and I'm ready to invest that energy in a different direction, which is what this kind of energy was talking about. You have your old places that you used to invest your energy and your emotional energy in. Newness is coming in. And so this is this journey of like, yeah, it's worth going off on this new adventure because it is going to bring you this experience with the higher realms, with the magical realms, with things within you that you never thought you would be able to see in your lifetime. So it's definitely worth this journey. It's definitely ready for this new adventure to begin for you. So, and then it's great that we had this Aboriginal reference here, because your final messages do come from these Aboriginal dreaming totems. So this was all Dreamtime was about that. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to leave this up here. And these are just the final messages from the Creator for all of you Virgos that chose reading number 3. So Creator, what messages do you have for them, please? What's your final messages, please? Okay, they do want all those. Any others? Didn't think so. I think that these were enough. And so you've got wonderful. Sometimes being too cautious is just an excuse for being afraid to take risks and move forward. Don't use this as your excuse to miss out on something amazing. I'm going to put this over here. This is this wonderful adventure that you're headed off on, right? Then you have exhaustion. And that says, long and challenging as this journey is, it is worth the struggle. The results are long-term and worth every sacrifice made along the way. Yeah, so I'm going to put this one here because that is this 8 of Cups. You're sick and tired of feeling this certain way and you're ready to move on, like we talked about, right? And questions. No way. Virgos don't have questions. What are you thinking? No, it says what you are thinking is absolutely correct. It takes courage to trust yourself, especially when everything points in a different direction. And I like this with this experience coming here because this is about questioning and trust. And if you're not sure, if you have these answers and you're like, I don't know, is this really right or not? Develop this relationship with your spiritual world, because you can ask them questions. And if we'll shut up enough and listen, this is my lesson that I've learned the hard way in my life. So I shut up and listen, then I hear such clarity. I see such synchronistic answers, and it's like, okay, thank you. If I'm unsure, then I ask those that won't lie to me, that I can trust. And it's about developing, listening to that voice inside that you know is the one that is never wrong and never lets you down, is totally on your side, wanting to have the most wonderful experience on this journey here. Yeah, because here you go. Bravery. It's time to reel in your warrior spirit. Not all conflict has to be a fight. It doesn't have to be a fight. Like with the Kung Fu movie, right? The wise warrior will choose their battles carefully, weighing up risk on the road to achievement. So, yeah, this definitely, you have this, it's like almost like this stubbornness. It's okay to allow yourself to experience this balance. It doesn't all have to be work, and this achieve, blah, 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 right? It's like, it's okay. Be brave enough to go off-road, and they're like telling me like, whatever you do, don't go into the enchanted forest. and you're like, oh, heck yeah, I'm going into that enchanted forest because this is the experience. You're ready for some magic in your life. You're just ready. You're bored with the old ways of feeling and thinking. You're ready for something new. So I love it for you. Right, well, I'm going to leave it there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, also weekly energy updates for each of the elements, like earth signs, fire signs, water signs, etc. Also new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of other videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click on the subscribe button. That'll give you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can select the option for all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love. Because when you like a video, or you share a video, or you comment on a video, or subscribe to a channel, the YouTube algorithm goes crazy and it loves it and it wants to share videos on that channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those, I of course greatly appreciate it. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific information for your specific life, then I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, my Virgos, as you go out through this wonderful journey in this wonderful equinox, and every day of every moment of your life, please know that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox, have an amazing journey, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.